All right, Mr. David.
Hey,
We
we're
have
back.
the get-ups on, huh?
This is a little
The
different.
bee suits.
In bee suits.
All right.
We're actually in bees. Couple of things real quickly
Okay.
before we even start. One thing that is really hard for new beekeepers is keeping their smoker lit.
Okay.
Now, why do you need a smoker? To alert the bees. Not,
Alert, not
well,
alarm, alert.
kind
I
of.
got
You may want to
Okay.
think about it. Most people think smoke is calming effect on
Okay.
bees. It doesn't. It actually confuses their ability to talk to each other. All the kids know about the waggle dance and how bees tell other bees about where flowers are, but bees really communicate with pheromones. Those are smells that mean something. Well, we generally can't smell what the bees are saying, so what we can smell is smoke.
Okay.
Smoke is louder than anything the bees can say. And the first thing that we do when we get into the bees is we smoke them a little bit. That smoke confuses their ability to talk to each other. The guard bees can't tell the other bees that we're in them. And some of the bees will actually take that smoke and realize there's a fire somewhere.
Okay.
And they'll go into the hive and suck up as much honey as they can. It distends their abdomens. And bees have to extend their stinger to sting.
Aha.
And when their bellies are full, they can't
They
push
can't
out
do
their
it.
stinger.
Okay.
So they're confused and they can't sting us. The smoker is very important, and keeping it lit while you're working is even more important, because once the bees are looking at us, that means they know we're here.
Okay.
There's a little bit of smoke across the top of them, and they go back to doing what they were doing.
Well, let's make sure we keep that smoker on, man.
So we smoked
Let's
them in the
do
front.
that.
We've waited about 60 seconds. We're going to lift the back,
All right.
put a little smoke under here.
Okay.
And the reason we're opening this hive is because I just got these bees from somebody's house last week,
Okay.
and we want to see how they're progressing. One thing that we look at as the bees come and go from the entrance, you can learn a lot about what's going on with the bees. If they have pollen on their legs, that means they have babies. If they have babies, that means they probably have a laying queen.
Okay.
Pollen is protein. Everything needs protein to grow.
Okay.
Okay? So we watch that. We watch the activity. Is there any arguing going on in front? Is anybody fighting? Bees defend their hive.
Okay.
If there's no hive movement up front, no arguing, then they're not stressed. Well, there's some bees.
Wow, how about that?
And this is a hive tool. Neat factors on this is you can use this to break apart pieces of wood that the bees have glued together.
Okay.
Hear that popping?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
Now, how would you think the bees are doing?
Right now we've got bees, so they're alive.
So they're alive. Okay.
And see how they're looking up at us? See the
I
eyes?
see that.
Just a little bit of smoke. And down they go.
Wow, they went straight down. How about
Okay.
that?
When we open a hive, we
Man.
start on the outside and work in.
Okay.
Now this is a new hive. I'm not expecting much movement in here, but this is what we would do. Pry the bar apart. This goes right here and jacks up
man.
the side of the frame. Not expecting anything on this frame because it's brand new.
Okay.
Slide this frame over and keep sliding over to see what the bees are doing.
So as you're sliding those over though, but that's not bothering the bees.
No, because they're doing their thing.
Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
lift this up. See the
Okay.
glistening in there?
I see it.
That's nectar.
Neat.
That's going to be honey.
Neat.
Nectar comes from flowers, and it's the liquid source in the flower that draws the bees in.
Okay.
As the bees are digging around getting nectar, the pollen in the flower is actually getting stuck to the little hairs on their bodies. And when they leave that flower and go to the next flower, that causes pollination. The pollen transfers. That causes our fruits and our vegetables to grow. Now, see this real fat bee right here?
I see it.
That's a drone. That's a
Okay.
boy.
Okay.
Okay?
Pretty good
If
size,
you look
too.
at him,
Man,
see how big his eyes are?
I see that.
His whole head is just about all eyes. He's got one purpose in life, and that's to find a new queen and mate with her. So he needs all those eyes to see her.
How about that?
He sits in the hive all day long until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sucking up honey. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all the drones leave the hive, and they go to a place called a drone congregation area, a DCA.
DCA.
It's sort of like a smoker lounge for bees, and they kind of hang out and wait for a new queen to come. Now, how does she find them? There's not a big neon sign up there, but there's pheromones, a trail of pheromones where the boys have flown, and she follows straight to them. And when she shows up, game is on.
Wow.
They will chase her. And the first
Interesting
12
fact.
to 20 drones that catch up with her will mate with her. And she stores up all of that genetic material inside her body in a very special organ called a spermatotheca. And coming from her intestines is a tube that feeds sugar to them.
Okay.
And it keeps those sperm viable for up to 5 years.
Whoa.
Crazy?
Man, that is wild.
One mating, and that's it for her.
Wow. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it for, we're going to go one more box down. That's it for her. She never leaves the hive again unless the hive feels constricted or congested. And she will leave with half the colony and go find a new home.
Okay.
That's what happens in the spring and summer. It's called swarming.
Okay.
They're looking for a new home. So it'll be a big cluster of bees hanging on a tree or a mailbox or somebody's car. They don't have anything to defend, so they're not going to sting you unless you go mess with them.
Mhm.
In fact, even here, bees are defensive. They're only going to defend their hive and their honey. They're not going to come look at you like wasps or yellow jackets will.
Yes.
Okay?
I've been a witness to that one.
We're going to go down one more box. This box is the box of frames and comb that we got from the house. A lot more action in here. When we take comb out of a house, we got to do something with it. Rubber bands hold it in place. So everyone that has the X on it is a rubber banded comb.
Okay.
These on the outside are just fillers that we put in so that they have everything they need to grow.
Ah.
Plastic foundation. Bees build wax on top of this. They build it out.
How neat is that?
They'll do it on both
man?
sides. We'll set that right here. Go over one more. And now that looks good.
That's a lot of bees down in there.
That's also a lot of honey.
Ah,
See the white caps?
I do.
That white is honey.
Okay.
Earlier we had liquid. Once it gets to about 17% moisture, once the bees have dried it out, they cap it over with wax. And that's their honey. And again,
It's impressive.
2 fat
I
drones.
see them.
A lot of workers. In a hive of 40,000 bees, you may have 1,000 boys.
1,000. How long before the bees can make honey, though?
Well, almost immediately.
Okay.
When they set up a new hive, there are bees that are building wax and bees that are going to the field. And they're bringing food in as fast as they can. So this is comb that was in somebody's house.
Wow.
See the tan pockets?
Uh-huh.
Those are babies. Those are brood
Okay.
that are just about to hatch. They go through the same 4 metamorphic stages that butterflies go through: egg, larva, pupa, adult.
Right.
They actually spin a cocoon inside the wax, and that's the cap over the cocoon.
Wow.
But this was in somebody's house last week.
How about
And they'll
that?
eventually fill this whole area out with wax. And once they do, then we won't have to worry about these spare pieces sticking off the side. I'll set that there.
That is so impressive. Now, David, before we have to leave,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed there are a few dead bees lying on the ground.
Yes. New beekeepers may look at that and go, oh my gosh, somebody sprayed my bees. Or they've gotten into a pesticide. Bees work themselves to death.
Okay.
And sometimes they'll die inside the hive. And when they do, another bee will carry that dead bee outside the hive and drop it on the ground. Well, the entrance is right here, so there are a few dead bees on the ground.
Okay.
What I'm looking for right now is evidence that the queen is laying. We're looking for eggs and larvae. Right here is the queen.
Ah,
Right here, going down.
going down. I see her.
It doesn't take long for her to lay an egg. The queen lays about 1,500 to 2,000 eggs a day. Literally, her body weight every day in eggs.
How impressive is that? Mr. David, we appreciate this. This has been outstanding. In fact, it's been
Outstanding in the field.
unbelievable. How about that? Thank you
Yes.
much.
You're very welcome. Thank y'all.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button below.